So, there's going to come a time, chosen ones, when God is going to reveal to you your gifts. So these have been powerful gifts that have always been inside of you that you were never aware about. But I also know 100% that some of those gifts, whichever gift it will be, but I might usually focus on the spiritual gifts. Those gifts are meant to break very powerful cycles. So for the cycle breakers, this is the video for you. I'll start with an example. A couple of years ago, some family moved into my vicinity. I will not be very specific because it's better to, protect other individuals. So there's a family that moved into my vicinity back in the days. Very friendly, nice people with some little children as well. And it was about 6 or 7 months later. I was about to go to sleep. Then I heard some noise. There was a noise, very disturbing noise. There was sounds coming from outside. There was noise. And then, so it was around 10, 11. I was about to go to bed. I heard this noise. There were like some people crying and screaming and shouting and fidgeting around. I was like, okay, so what's going on? So then I looked through the window and I saw this little kid lying on the floor. I was like, okay, so now this is very serious. So I put on my clothes very quickly and I ran downstairs. I wanted to see what was happening in that vicinity, what was going on. That's when I found out that one of the kids, could I say, had collapsed? I thought the kid had collapsed, but when I was trying to ask about the whole incident, these people told me that this kid was epileptic. Are you guys following? So this thing had gone on for a very long time. So many years, I think, for as long as this kid lived. He had always had the problem with epilepsy. So we are fidgeting around. These people don't speak English, and I'm trying to help them to translate. We are calling the services and everything. And then I was thinking, what do we do? There were some people, what do they call it? That thing whereby you are trying to revive somebody. Somebody's dying and you're trying to revive them, pushing their chest and everything, pouring water, whatever. They was doing everything and there was nothing happening. And something happened. It was like a few minutes when I came into that vicinity, when I come on the scene. It took about 3 minutes. Out of the blue, the kid stood up and everything was okay. So the kid stood up even before the ambulance showed up. The kid stood up and everything was fine, Now, in those days, I was thinking, could this be a coincidence? I was like, I did not think about this thing immediately, but when I came back home to sleep, and I was like, okay, so these people had been fidgeting around for quite a while. I showed up. In a few seconds, the kid stood up, and everything was okay. As if that was not enough. In about, maybe let's say 6 months later, this thing we're talking about, it was like 3.5 years ago. 6 months later, a similar incident happened. The same chaos, crying, shouting, people running up and down. Again, I was about to sleep. The same incident happened. I'm looking out of the window, the same kid. I'm like, okay, so what's happening here? Put on my shoes, clothes, went out. So when I went to this family, they told me the same thing had happened. There was something going on with the kid. Everybody was all over the place. The whole place was upside down. So I took the phone and I was calling the services, the ambulance services. And then, so these people were talking, so they were telling me that time, I think that time it was like during the COVID time, you know, when everything was locked up, so the services were very slow, this and this. They was telling me that, oh, you know, it's going to take a couple of hours before they could show up, so they were trying to ask me questions on the phone. And then something very magical happened. This is where I discovered this thing. The person on the other side told me, can you feel this kid's temperature? Is the kid heating up? Are they sweating? What is going on? Are they vomiting? They were asking me questions and I was answering. And then one thing happened, one thing in particular. They told me, can you feel the temperature of this kid? Now, you know, in that COVID time, everybody was afraid for these body contacts and everything. Nobody wanted to touch. But I was like, okay, this is a small kid, you know. What do I have to lose if I can do this and I carry on and go wash my hands? I just put my hands on the kid's forehead just like that. Again, this thing happened unconsciously, so I was not really, I was not like doing things, you know, like knowing what I was doing. I was just also in that same flow with the other guys and everything. As soon as I put my hand on this kid, the kid was fine. All of a sudden, the kid started talking. She got up, I'm okay. She was telling her parents, I'm okay, don't worry, this and this. I was like, wow. So when I came back, I said, okay, now I get it. But what I told them in that time, I told them, listen, guys, so what you need to do, drive the kid to the hospital so that they can make some further checks, just in case there's anything wrong or there's something we don't know, we don't see, just to get assurance from the medics and everything. So when I came back home, these people took the kid to the hospital. I didn't know. They didn't tell me what happened. But I remember the next day talking to the guys. Hey guys, what happened last night? Did you guys go? I said, yeah, we went and the doctors said everything was okay. We had nothing to worry about. I was like, wow. So then it came to me. Chosen ones, God is going to bring you in certain places because you've got a mission there. So you do not really think that you're ending up in certain places by some chance or by some coincidence. You've got a mission there. You just haven't yet seen that mission, but you've got a mission there. So you are there in that particular place to do God's work. It could be healing. It could be different other things. It could be something you are meant to do in that particular area. So you are not in an area by coincidence. A lot of you guys, cycle breakers, the generational curse breakers, you already know this. You're thinking, why is your family upside down? Why is everybody rolling over the place? Why are you going through all this drama and everything? You are in those families to break cycles. But cycle breaking is not something that everybody can do. There is a specific chosen people that are supposed to do that job, because that is a spiritual assignment. And spiritual assignments require particular spiritual warriors to carry out those assignments. So that's why sometimes you end up in certain places and you may think it's a coincidence because everybody is against you. Everything is upside down. Things are turning up and you don't know what is going on. You're in those places for a reason. I'll give you another scenario. There is people out there who are praying, please God, help me. This has been happening. They've been struggling with giving birth. They've been struggling with jobs. They have been struggling with the relationships. They have been suffering with the narcissist. They have been suffering with this. There is people all over the world that are going through so much. Those people, they are praying to God for assistance, for help, for one thing or two, okay? What really happens now, because God will not come from the sky and intervene in certain people's situations. God is going to send specific people in those situations. Those people have already been anointed, because the anointing is enough to overturn very strong strongholds, very powerful strongholds in certain people's lives. It could be something as powerful as breaking out of certain codes and breaking out of certain demonic bonds. There is just a few select people that can do this kind of assignments. Those are the people they call the chosen ones. Okay? I'll give you another example. For example, you might go to a certain job. There's people who have applied for that job, they couldn't get it. You've applied for that job, you got the job. You may not really have gone there to be employed because your assignment in that particular environment, for example, that job place, was a specific assignment, a specific mission that you were there. You were sent there to do something. Even most of the cases, you're not even conscious about this. Have you asked yourself a question as to why sometimes when you're in, there are some jobs you guys have been around these job center corporations and everything. You go into a certain factory, a certain company, a certain corporation, and all of a sudden, after 2 months, the manager has been sacked. After 2 months, something happened to somebody and they had to resign from the work. I remember personally in one corporation I used to work, in a few months, there was a manager who had been stealing. The manager had been stealing so much stuff from this company, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. During that time that I was in that vicinity, that is the time that person was caught. So that's when the company found out that this manager had been stealing from them and he was arrested. It can be happening in so many cases where you are in a corporation and you see people getting fired, somebody has been sacked, somebody has been fired, and you're going to find out that those people actually, they have been a very big problem all this entire time for the other workers. So what the universe did, what God did, God found a way for you to navigate your life around and land in those particular places. Because there were some people that, there was a situation with some individuals that was supposed to be fixed spiritually. So by some chance you appeared in those places. And you may not be surprised that after that thing was cleared, the problem was gone, the problem was solved. Maybe the company, even sometime, you could have been needed in that place, because as soon as you stepped into those environments, the company took off. They started making a lot of money, so many profits. Everything started booming all of a sudden because you was employed in that place. You did not even sometimes recognize this. But you were sent in that place to bless those people and clean up the whole place in a very spiritual sense. Because I remember there's a place I worked as well, and all these people started getting sacked. You know, the energy vampires left the job. The other psychopaths, they got sacked. Other people got different kinds of, all the place started cleaning up in that particular place. So basically, what I'm trying to bring to your attention in this video is that God is sending you because you are God's chosen people. God is sending you in certain destinations and places on a mission. So you are there for a particular purpose. Usually the purpose involves, it can be helping, it can be enlightening, it can be healing, it can be doing different kinds of things. There could be things that people have been struggling with for years. It could be just a single answer that God has sent you to a certain place. You know, sometimes we meet random people. Oh, can I be your friend? Okay, let me take your number, this and this and this. And before they know it, in 2 days or 3, you will say something, only one word they need. And that word will change their life forever. They could have been struggling with a psychopath in their own house. They was not even aware of that. They could even sometimes be in toxic families. They're not even aware that there is some families that are dysfunctional. They got in contact with you, you said 1 or 2 words, and they broke free. So these kinds of assignments of chosen people, they happen like that, whereby for some reason God allows you to navigate your life in a certain way, whereby everywhere you go, you're going to be on a mission. So the chosen one is a man on a mission, okay? When your mission is done in that place, you have served that mission in that place, that is when now God is going to move you out of that area and relocate you to another place where you're going to be prepared for your next mission. There's a place I've lived, and I'm not just sharing this particular story because it's very, very sensitive, but there's a very big story that has been happening in the place that I've lived. Until later on, I found out the reason as to why I had to stay in that place for a very long period of time. This was an issue of emergency. Hadn't I been in that area in that time, there was going to be serious consequences happening to other people around that place. So when your mission has been accomplished in that area, that's when now you're going to see yourself moving out of that area, whereby now God is going to relocate you somewhere else. In that other place, I believe I can promise you, you will meet your next assignment. So chosen ones are people who are deposited in different areas of society and environments to carry out specific assignments. But those assignments, like I've said, those are assignments from God. You're going to break very powerful strongholds. There will be things that have been enslaving people, bonding up people's spiritual bonds for a very long period of time. You show up, the bonds are broken. Just by your presence, you showing up. Or it could be something you say, it could be just a physical touch, it could be something that you do that is going to help other people actually break free, okay? From so many things that have been holding them bondage and captive for a very long period of time. That is the power of a chosen one. So let us know what you think about this video in the comment section below. You guys know that I do love and appreciate your support. Book a session, donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzo Mos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.